This video is to demonstrate the Invisi Tag and PSA integration feature with Invisi Tag's new location and transfer feature. The goal is to eliminate any duplicate information for jobs in this phase one of the integration between Invisi Tag and PSA. So first, we have already created some tags and locations. I'm going to show you the info. The biggest change we've made is when we click on jobs, in Invisi Tag, we have condensed this screen, which used to be 4 options of like fixed jobs and dispatch jobs, now down to just 2. We have inventory or transfer. Inventory is the same as fixed jobs, watching items go from red to green. Transfer allows us to move equipment between locations. When I click on transfer, this is the information that would sync over from PSA. So these are the job location information from PSA. The information that comes is the job ID, the job name. We state that the type of location this is a job, and the number of tags, equipment in this location, along with the address of the customer. Here we also have another location called truck. So what we're going to do is to show you the integration, how it works. We're going to create one of these locations or job locations in PSA and have that sync over into Invisi Tag. I'm going to go ahead and show you the PSA screen. Well, here's the Invisi Tag Enterprise website. I will go over to PSA. Here is my PSA account. I will go to jobs, and jobs is here, the tab that I am in. I want to create a new job. So when I click create, I'll put in the name Smith 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, Gotham Road, city's metropolis. If I can spell metropolis, New York 10005, USA. And I will just go and click save. And the changes have been made. The job has been created. I will then go to the Invisi Tag app. As you can see here, Mrs. Smith is created. I'll go into the Invisi Tag app and then do a sync, and then that location and job name should show up into Invisi Tag. Here we are. We go back to the main menu, press sync, and it's going to go through and check all the new and updated information in Invisi Tag as well as PSA. Now that it's completed, I press OK. Select jobs. I go to transfer. As you can see down here, 0015 Mrs. Smith, job, tag number of tags, and the location or the address. So now with Invisi Tag, the simple thing is when you want to drop off equipment to a job site, you now just select that location that I'm going to move equipment to that job. My mobile device and my handheld connects via Bluetooth. Once it's connected, you press OK. This new way of tracking equipment in Invisi Tag, the rule becomes, where do you want to move your equipment to? So for Mr. Smith, I'm going to scan the equipment I'm leaving behind. So I unload the truck, I scan the equipment, watch everything come in, everything's green, I press transfer, press OK. As soon as I press transfer, I immediately get my dispatch report in Invisi Tag. This report holds over the job name that came from PSA, 0015 Mrs. Smith. Then it tells me in the details the equipment name, the RFID number, start date and time when I dropped off the equipment, end date and time when I picked them up, and a bill hours. The bill hours is the difference in the time I drop off to when I pick up. Also in the report, I have a due date reminder. When I turn that on, this I can send an alert for myself. I can say that I need to pick up my equipment in 4 days. If all my equipment is not picked up or checked back in 4 days, then you're going to get an email the very next morning alerting you, letting you know there's equipment on a job that's past due. Time for you to go pick them up. Also, we have a signature function here. Right here, when we drop off equipment, we click on that. We can capture the signature of the homeowner or property manager. So it could be Jane Smith. Okay. Press confirm, press OK. And now you see a signature was added. Also, after the due date, the signature, we can capture the GPS location of where we dropped off the equipment. When I click on GPS, when you click on the icon, it updates my location and lets you know this is exactly where I am. I can use this location. I can click list nearby. It'll show me all the surrounding addresses. And then I just click done in the corner, and I've now did a GPS confirmation of the equipment have been dropped off to this location. When I press back, I will press sync and everything will go up to my cloud account. Now you can see this information in Invisi Tag as well. So I'm going to show you what the Invisi Tag reports look like. So here's the Invisi Tag Enterprise. And first we're going to look at a report, and we're going to look at something called location status report. Location status reports gives me the location of every single piece of equipment in my system. I have 14 total assets. Nothing is checked in. If equipment was checked in, means it was in a location like a warehouse or a truck, and checked out means it was out on a job site. Not scanned means equipment is in my system, just not scanned to a location. So these 14 items are checked out, and currently all these pieces of equipment, these 7, are checked out to Mrs. Smith. So the table tells me the equipment name, RFID number, type, status, currently which location is this equipment in, and the time, date, and stamp in which we moved it to that location. Then if I want to see the details, I go to reports, location job reports, and I would look at in progress jobs, and I see here Mrs. Smith. I click view, and I see my details. So for Mrs. Smith's job, it tells me a couple things. I dropped off $10,350 worth of equipment. All $10,350 is still there. When I click on the allocation signature, it shows me the signature which we captured in the app. On the right side, if I were to add employees, it would tell me which employee dropped off equipment and which employee picked it up because their name gets attached to the report. Then we have a due date reminder. The due date tells us when this equipment should be checked back in by. The GPS confirmation where I dropped it off. The 7 pieces of equipment, the type and the quantity. And then of course my report. My report tells me the equipment name, RFID number, start date and time when I dropped off the equipment, end date and time when I picked them up, and a bill hours. Bill hours is the difference in the time I drop off to when I pick up. When I click on days, it'll convert hours to days. We have types, cost, picked up employee. We know that the employee that drops off equipment might not be the same employee to pick it up. And when you drop off equipment, you might not pick up all the equipment back in the same day. You might pick it up in stages. So whichever employee picks up your equipment on any given day, their name gets attached to each individual piece of equipment, letting you know who picked up each single piece. Then we have rental costs. Rental cost is your exact amount pricing, what you charge per day per piece of equipment. And we have estimated invoice. Basically, we take the rental cost, multiply by the bill hours, give you a dollar amount, what you should charge for every piece of equipment. When we click PDF, this report will export out of the cloud, and then you can attach this report with your claim to the adjuster, giving you another documentation, another validation of your equipment on that job site. So all the equipment information, as well as the signature right here. And then, of course, when we go to PSA, I would go to equipment, equipment tracking, and then this lists out every single piece of equipment that's in my system. And then the job location 0015 was Mrs. Smith. So I can click on that, or I put in 0015. And as you can see, it filters down to saying these 7 items are now currently in PSA for Mrs. Smith 0015. This is the first phase of transferring equipment information between Invisi Tag and PSA. The next steps will be to also transfer equipment between the truck and warehouse locations. So now what we're going to do is just finalize and close this job in Invisi Tag. So I'm going to go back to my app. All right. Go into Invisi-Tag. Now remember, say my equipment is done being picked up. I go to transfer, and the golden rule becomes where am I moving my equipment to? Okay, I can move it back to my truck. So I have truck 17. So Mrs. Smith has 7 items. I want to transfer to truck 17. I just select truck 17. My mobile device handheld connects via Bluetooth again. Connected. I scan the equipment in my vehicle. All 7 items has come in. I click transfer, press OK. And it tells me here all 7 items have been moved back to truck 17 Jim. And if you scroll down, it will tell you the previous location in which you moved the equipment from. So we moved it out of 0015 Mrs. Smith. Now, when you're in Invisi-Tag, we have this auto sync feature that automatically kicks in. So all this will sync up to into Invisi-Tag's cloud account as well as PSA. And what I did want to show that we've changed in the system was the ability to close a location or a job. When I go to reports, location job reports, I look at Mrs. Smith. This job is technically still open because even though we picked up all the equipment, we give you the ability to close the job. Because if your location is, before we used to automatically close it when everything was picked up. But now, say if an adjuster comes or an agent comes and says there's more equipment that needs to be left behind because the room needs to be dried up some more, right? It didn't meet the standards. You can now still transfer equipment to this location, and you can even scan the same equipment back to the same location, and it'll create a new start time and a new end time for this piece of equipment. But if you're confident that everything is done, picked up, job is closed, you would go to complete and click on the toggle switch, and it'll complete the job. Then you can capture the second and last signature for the pickup. Once again, Jane Smith. And we'll just do Smith, confirm, press OK. And this is how we would close the job in Invisi-Tag. We press sync, and you're going to notice the report information. So I'll go back to my screen here. I can reload my report. And as you notice here, when we dropped off $10,350 worth of equipment, all $10,350 worth of equipment is picked up. My pickup signature is shown. My job is complete. And for every piece of equipment, I have a start time, end time, bill hours. Estimated invoice kicks in when each piece of equipment is on the job longer than 20 minutes. Then you will get an estimated invoice. And then you'll notice when you go to location job report, this job for Mrs. Smith automatically went from in progress down to completed. And lastly, we click on location status report. And now notice that these 7 items have been checked back in because they're in my truck. These 7 are still checked out to a job site. And as you can see here, these 7 out are on 00112 PSA Web Create, and then these 7 are in truck 17 Gem. This is the first phase of Invisi-Tag and PSA as we're integrating sharing the job name and information between Invisi-Tag and PSA. So go ahead and just create your job in PSA here, and all this information will sync down into Invisi-Tag app. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your local representative at Can-Am Systems, PSA, or feel free to reach out to us at Invisi-Tag 248-562-2037. Thank you. And please look forward to watching the Phase 2 video with Invisi-Tag and PSA.